Friends, I'm back. Sorry, I messed up the other one that was supposed to be about bios of messed up people, which was futile. We had all these notes. I printed them out. It wasn't very good. Now it's back to stream of the consciousness bantering. Going to be talking about non-ordinary states of consciousness. How about the collective unconscious? The quantum field. The Akashic records. The group mind. The hive mind. And this pandemic. Anybody out there want to rap? Jump in the chat screen. Let's see what you got. I look totally crazy tonight. I need a haircut. I am looking forward to society regaining itself. I must say, could use a haircut and a cappuccino, indeed. So, to name a few luminaries in this field would be Professor Stanislav Grof of the Czech Republic. There's another guy that his name escapes me, but he writes a lot about the Akashic records. The quantum field. Have you read the I forget this another author's name, but biocentrism? The idea that if a tree falls in the forest, it is only the observer. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of whiffs of air. And the answer to the question, if a tree falls in a forest and nobody's there, did it really happen or such thing? And I guess it technically didn't, because it's because of the observer. How about the two-slit quantum physics experiment that when the particles are observed, they change behavior? What's your opinion of the universe? Does it exist as a reflection of the holographic brains that we have? Anybody out there? I'm already drifting. The idea that the yogis and the swamis and the Taoist masters talk a lot about the same stuff as scientists, that the new science of spirituality or how about I got a lot of weird YouTubes talking about the magic Crowley and all these guys. I did one about the chaos magic, how there's sigils through every city, and there's so many people now that want to manifest. They want to manifest. They read The Secret. And it's good to have a good attitude. But like I pointed out in that video about the chaos magic, is it too much? Is there too much energy coming out? Is there too much chi? Everybody wants to manifest, and nobody really knows what they want or what's good for them. And it's tough because you want to manifest riches and goodness. But we don't really know what's best for ourselves sometimes. And how much energy from the cosmos is that sucking up? But I'm liking, lately I've been reading a lot about science and spirituality connections. I once had a lot of training in Qigong, Tai Chi, even a little Bagua. And, even some Taoism allegedly. And Zen breathing and so forth. Those to me seem hard-earned. And, I think people want to get enlightenment fast. I don't blame them, but people want it fast. I think there's even a new movement, a lot of DMT. You can do DMT and get enlightenment fast. Or like get an out-of-body experience fast. I've done a cool YouTube on OBEs. Anybody have one out there? Any NDEs or OBEs out there? Has anybody had their reading of your Akashic records? That's Hindu, that is already written. There's a massive quantum field of energy, and we're all connected. Nobody? Come on, Saturday night. Who's experienced contact with disembodied entities? Anybody out there? I know. Oh, it's 9:16 Eastern Standard Time. Anybody out there? Anybody sleeping and being isolated so long that you've come out of your body? Is that going to be a new thing now, to astral project to more safely go to your local store so as to avoid the burden of the 6 feet distancing? Just travel. I suppose your astral body is safe. I don't think that can get corona. Can it get some negative vibes though from the corona? Is anybody pissed off for me for questioning The Secret, which is I think it's a good intended book, or movement. I think before that was the Celestine Prophecy that you could get connected. And of course, a lot of people who read The Secret are serious about business stuff, and they do well. What you think about, you bring about. They tell me is the trick. Napoleon Hill, Think and Go Rich. Think and Become Rich, something like that. Yeah. We're going up on 19 minutes past 8. Come on, somebody in the chat room. Anybody out there? Nobody's had any non-ordinary states of consciousness this week? Come on. What about the cyber world technology? The biometrics, the surveillance capitalism. It's a good book on that. Google that. Of course, Google has all your data. The social media has your data. Can they, in fact, after analyzing the group mind on the social media, can they run algorithms and not just sell you stuff? Maybe there's more to it. Maybe every keystroke is recorded. I don't want to go say, if you think it's that bad, don't get on there. I like it. If you think it's that bad, I love it. Uh, how realistic is the robotics getting? Do you know that they are working on insects to do pollination? And as we know, the robots are like a simulacrum. I'll leave in the liner notes this one of this Dutch guy. It's incredible. He's sitting next to his robot, and you can tell it's not him pretty quick, but it takes a few seconds. Or I forget her name. The really attractive comedian, Chelsea's. No. Friends with, I don't know. She has an excellent robot of her aesthetic self. Has anybody had time to try that holotropic breathing during this break? I think of that as a Western style qigong. In what I was taught about those type of modalities is you don't want any music or drums when you're doing breathing, that you can get messed up, if you will. But that's as far as I know, they do a lot of that, and then kind of taking the negative part of your prenatal life and dealing with it, fixing it. Professor Stanislav Grof was into that stuff. Also, I would recommend. I just read a decent one, "Vistas of Infinity: How to Enjoy Life When You Are Dead" by Jorgen. I'll spell his name Ziewe. This guy is actually in a good interview on YouTube with Professor Tom Campbell. Jorgen is a artist. I don't know where he's from. I assume maybe Norway. And Professor Tom Campbell is a physicist. If you haven't seen him on here, he's interesting. He has a trilogy of books called My Big Toe, or My Big Theory of Everything, TOE. He was associated with Mr. Bob Monroe, who's an early pioneer of the OBE, out-of-body experience stuff. Professor Tom Campbell, Google him up or YouTube him up. Interesting. I consider him an American Qigong master. I haven't had my Akashic record read. Maybe it's horrifying. Don't you hate when you go to one of those spirit medium people and they think you're boring? That sucks. It blows. Like, I am contacting, what, anything? Oh, nothing, no. Nothing of any interest, I'm sorry. Shit. Boy, I'm gonna get a haircut after this fucking thing. Vistas of Infinity is good so far, a good read. Sorry I'm throwing out these reads at you because I felt like going on tonight and gabbing. I think it is Saturday, isn't it? Saturday the 18th. With this hair long, this doesn't look like I'm a fucking space capsule. It's like Saturday the 18th, 23 years out. Making our way back from Neptune. Mars was all right. Oh, I haven't done a whole thing on Mars. Do you think there's anything up there? Do the rocks look like different creatures and stuff? Anyway, Vistas of Infinity, the guy is an artist, and he has no fear of death because he's shifted his consciousness many times. He is said to have had 40 years of strict meditation at a minimum of 2 hours a day. And at some point, he thought he was crazy, but then he realized that he had shifted his reality into other dimensions. And it's a non-denominational scientific read, but he's not atheistic in any way, which is going with my theme tonight of there's no need of science and theology to be clashing so much, which I think the author of the Biocentric Universe talks about that. Yeah. This is an incoherent ramble. Damn it. Vistas of Infinity. He has a couple other ones. The Multidimensional Man. What's interesting about Jorgen and Tom Campbell is that they're I mean, to my mind, they're kind of like Western yogis or Taoists or Swamis or whatever you have it. Like they offer up good interpretations of these things that are more commonplace in the East. I'm not one of those people who's like everything about the East and the West that's so Western. I mean, that's infantile. There's great things about Western civilization. The Roman Senate, the Greek scholastics, Christianity, all wonderful systems of man. So I don't like that everything in the West blows, but the East is great. But nevertheless, these like Professor Groff says, we don't have a tradition of basically, I don't know, even maybe distorting the senses or having meditation or connection to the universe, that type of thing. I mean, I know people. There are people. I've met many people who do acupuncture, and they don't believe in qi in any type of spiritual form, which might be okay, but this new kind of movement of combining science and spirituality is pretty interesting. In particular, the vibrational medicine or whatnot. And all these things are dismissed on your typical Wikipedia or all that stuff, or your CNNs or your MSNBCs or your Foxes, or academia or medicine or whatever. And yet, I think more and more people are seeking out alternatives. Yes. What do you think? What does anybody think? If there's so much mass seeking out of manifestations or people practicing urban magic or whatever, or magic or any of this stuff, where it is positive to have a good attitude, but is it a massive amount of group energy? Or how about this pandemic itself, the group anxiety, the constant pounding? Has it got some good aspects? Are we getting together? Has anybody here reached out to their mother-in-law? Bloody hell. The key bad thing I've done tonight is I haven't referred to any pop culture or movie. Okay, movie. Okay, based on Altered States. All right, Dr. John Lilly. He goes into a sensory deprivation tank, and he does LSD, Carlos Castaneda style, and he goes in deep, and he experiences the same things as the so-called primitive man, which brings me to my next point. As great as technology is, and we're moving towards some kind of Elon Musk singularity thing where we'll merge with machines, blah, 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 I contend a lot of the aspects of the indigenous peoples, Native Americans and Siberian shaman, Eskimos, in every region throughout the world, Africa, certain parts. They had a lot of superior things in their society. The Vision Quest, the Sweat Lodge, the coming of age processes, the love of nature, the connection, dressing up like the wolf or what have you, or any animal, the use of totems, animism, love of the earth, connection to the stars. Although there's a lot of better things in modern society, I think that unquestionably they did a lot of things very much better and very much superior society and very much more natural. And I'll leave that with you tonight. What do you guys think? What a ramble. I hope, I hope this was somewhat interesting, and give me a shout. Take care, God bless.